In the last 9 times these teams have met, Rebel have won 5 and FURIA have only won 4. If Rebel can take it today, they will be on a 3-win streak in series versus FURIA. Their game record in the last 9 games too is 26 games to Rebel and 25 to FURIA. They are incredibly close. This did not deserve to be a 70-30 on the poll. It did not deserve to be a sweep on the desk for FURIA, but it will be so many questions asked of Rebel. Can they perform on the day?
Well, are you flying your flag to the Rebel mast then, Stumpy? Do you believe?
I absolutely do. I really do. I think there's got to be somebody pulling for them. A lot of South America will be as well. Dex was saying that he sees Rebel as the future of South America, and I think the future can come today.
Well, it seems to be a better start here for FURIA, so hopefully their future is a little bit better. As Tanda gets bumped out the way, but look at Card coming in. King Card there, trying to get his first shot of the game. It's a really good start for FURIA. They're looking clean and they're rotating well in the attack up to this point.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of pressure for FURIA, but then now we see Rebel start to work their way down into that blue half. Good catch from Snip. Can also get the 100 boost. That's a completely open net as the defender goes on a wander.
Here he goes. Look at this. Look at the composure right now. It's Snip round the corner. And then just places it home. Strummer was there to help him out, but he wasn't going to be needed. Decent defending to start Rebel off, and then the finish when they have the chance.
FURIA as well, currently at their team house, trying to make sure that they've got as little issues as they can possibly have. The variables are all fully in control, so FURIA have turned up to this level.
A little bit more pressure on FURIA as well, I would say, going into these South American championships. A statement win here in this major could be huge for them with the mind games. So I'm sure we'll see them throwing everything at this semi-finals right now. Not to mention $10,000 here on offer for the winner of this tournament as we go forward. But Rebel are looking better so far as Astramic takes a touch, follows this one along. Kyo can't get a hit there. Tanda knocks it down. This could be 2. If Yanks can get his touch right, it's onto the backboard. He must have it. Oh my goodness, brilliant play, but saved by Card.
That is such a classic South American play too. Could have gone for the straight shot and a rotate out, let his teammate in. He goes for the double, goes a little bit too high on the second, aims for the triple. It was going to go in until it eventually gets saved. The pressure from both teams is immense at every single opportunity they've got to attack.
All it takes from FURIA, though, is one decent touch away. We've already seen how dangerous they can be. The chances have already forged for themselves, but here's one for their opponents. It's Rebel off the crossbar, and it's in.
Astromig with the double tap to finish it as well. Manages to get what we affectionately call the champ touch. Look at that. Touchdown from the crossbar down, sends it in. With 2 goals ahead as well. We're going to be seeing Rebel lads hopefully taking a lot of confidence from this as well, because that is a really great start. We're just going to have a little bit of a technical difficulty, just quickly making sure that all players are happy and able to continue in this series. But what a start for Rebel. I said it was going to be close, but for them to get 2 goals out the gate, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think we're seeing already what it is that Rebel are capable of doing so well. They were held at arm's length for a long time by FURIA at the beginning there, where FURIA were just barreling down upon them. And it was in that opening minute, which is where I really want to see. It's harsh to say underdogs for Rebel because, as you've said yourself, Stumpy, they normally do quite well against FURIA. But from what people perceive of them, they are the underdogs. And they held out. They avoided conceding that early goal with great saves like that one from Yanks. And then down the other end, look at this, the composure there from Snips.
I mean, they are ultimately the underdog in this series purely because they are currently sitting at 5th in the South American rankings. They've got 1,510 points. They are sitting at about half the amount of points that FURIA have got, who are over 3,000 points and 2nd in the region. It's going to be a tough battle, don't get me wrong. But having those last 9 results being at least split as evenly down the middle as they possibly could be, that's a great place to be for them in this bracket. But it's still going to be a big mountain to climb. FURIA will expect to win. They've got the team house as well. Psychologically, I think they've certainly got the advantage, but Rebel cannot be counted out.
Of these teams as well, only one of them is unbeaten, and it is not FURIA. FURIA went behind yesterday in their group stages, but Rebel, they absolutely destroyed True Neutral over on the B stream. If anybody was watching that one, it was 9-0 to them in the last 2 games in a 3-1 victory. So the form team, I would say as well, is Rebel. What's everyone thinking, Stumpy? Of course Rebel are going to win this. FURIA haven't got a chance. I feel like we're talking ourselves into really believing this one.
I feel like
now I don't believe it anymore.
No, you can crash back to earth, mate, but I'm still in that stratosphere. This is just Card sending it very nicely down the line. Finds Kyo, finds Card, back of the net. Snip can't quite get there, but after that quick break, it does mean that the first goal does go in the back of the net for FURIA. Maybe back on track for them.
Yeah, it was tough timing for Rebel when they were so much on the ascendancy. 2 goals up for the short break to happen right then. But credit to FURIA, they started better after the break. It's an important part of Rocket League that when things go wrong, as they will inevitably eventually do, you're able to recover as quickly as possible, and FURIA showed how quickly they can attack. And on the desk as well, speaking of pace, that's what we heard from Dex, that Rebel need above all else. They have to outpace FURIA. Are you seeing enough from them so far to suggest that they can?
I'm seeing that they can do a little bit of everything, to be honest, where we've seen a couple of times where the pace has been incredibly important, but Astromech about 30 seconds ago very cleverly slowed down his shot to then force the pre-jump from the FURIA defender, and it meant that then when he slammed it onto the backboard, his teammate could come in and get a better shot off. Snips going for the challenge there, the double commit as well. Card saving it away, Astromech not able to get a touch to it, but everybody low on boost in this blue half right now.
Apart from Tanda, who is behind Kaio and Card, questioning them to do as much as they can with the ball. They've done decently, got the ball at least out of their half, but Astromech can knock it towards Yanks. Kaio's coming in, just neither team at this point able to take too much control of it. Tanda's touch wasn't exactly what his team needed either, so Astromech can win that race. Now Sid's coming forward, there's a bump attempt from Astromech, and that's brilliant.
That's so clever. This is so un-South American, I love it. He doesn't go for the backboard, he goes directly up into the ceiling and then follows through on his momentum to bump Card out of the way. Doesn't make contact, but his presence is enough to make Card jump, and he cannot get the save that would have otherwise been very routine. Astromech, I really, really appreciate how clever that was.
Questions being more than asked of FURIA in this first game. We are, of course, in a long old best of 7, so not too much to take from it in the course of this series right now. But I would say that Rebel are beating FURIA for pace. Look at that again from Snips down the wing. He's got a chance for a pass in here if he can get around the ball quickly. Not quite able to do that. But look how quickly Astromech's on him again. I love the way Rebel are attacking.
They're certainly mixing it up in every opportunity that they have got. It's not just a one-size-fits-all solution to their attack. They're making sure that every single chance they've got, they play differently. And Snip gets a wave dash shot off, and he wouldn't have made it otherwise. Look at this. Jumps up, wave dashes down to then get the touch, and sneaks it past Tanda.
That is such brilliant improvisation. I was disappointed because Snips had rotated a little bit wide to get that center boost, and I thought that was the chance had gone. He proved me well and truly wrong with that wave dash. 45 seconds left, and you're thinking that FURIA need to score from one of these next couple of attacks, so this first game is all over. They are certainly more than capable of doing that, but Rebel seemed relatively comfortable when FURIA come forward. I've done it again. I'm going to stop compromising defenses. It's 2-4.
I mean, it was a bit of an awkward touch from Snips. Takes it low, then doesn't get the flick he wants. And as Kaio can come in and get the bump away, it leaves everybody in the net completely scrambled. Card with a great shot bottom corner. Now only 2 goals separating these teams. 30 seconds, more than enough time, especially when you've got the firepower that FURIA possess.
I ever again say that a defense is comfortable, can you flick me? Or pinch me or something, because it never works out when I say that's the case.
I hate to say, Cole, that I literally can't. So yes, I will.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Don't
Here we go. Hang about, can't score it. Oh, if he could have done, things could have got really interesting in these last 10 seconds, but Yanks comes in from the side and saves his team. Might even be able to make it 5 here. It's put to the post. Astromech doesn't care too much. He's just going to slow it down, and the delayed clip as well. Just to squeeze every available second away from the game. There might be a third for FURIA. There won't be with Yanks there, but even if there had have been, it wouldn't have mattered, and it still won't matter if they do get it. Rebel take game 1 by 4 goals to 2.
An incredibly intelligent style of play there from Rebel too. I mentioned that this wasn't just a one-size-fits-all solution that Rebel have got when they're playing against FURIA and against, yesterday, True Neutral. They were making sure that they looked at every play on an individual basis, weighed up all of their options, and then went for the one that had the highest chance of succeeding. The slowing down, the passing to the ceiling, then back down again, the going for the bumps. Very varied, very clever, and at the helm of that was Astromech, where he was making sure that he led as many charges as he possibly could.
For me, it was Snips. He scored 3 goals, 7 shots as well. So he has been just available whenever FURIA have needed anything approaching an outlet. But I want to draw a bit more attention to the Rebel defending, because I know that I said their defending was good as they conceded. Yes, I do that a lot. But for the most part, I wasn't too worried for them when FURIA were coming forward. And when you think of the firepower that FURIA have, it's very rare that you can say that with Card or Kaio or Tanda barreling down upon you, you're feeling not that worried. But I'm not getting a sense of fear from Rebel in this one.
Not at all. I think that these nameplates don't matter to them. And this second game is going to see if they can continue with that style, as an early shot does manage to come off. The defense of FURIA already starting to stretch, and every single player on every single team in South America does end up going for double commits more often than I would ever like, but people rarely actually end up conceding from that, so I'm not too worried. But I would like to see just a little bit more in the way of working their way out of defense for FURIA. You can get a save, can you get a pass off?
Well, they did get a demo there as well to open things up just a little bit. Still waiting to see if that's going to turn into anything. But it's something we didn't see too much of in game number 1. FURIA trying to bump Rebel out of their rhythm and demo them, take them off the pitch. And beating them for pace, though, is one way they can certainly begin to put the squeeze on them. There was a good touch from a FURIA player in the center, but Rebel managed to realign themselves and get back into it. And now they're the ones on the attack.
Been quite a lot of midfield play where the half rotations have become third rotations, as a lot of players aren't even going back for boost. They're turning on 20 and then seeing what damage they can do with some awkward hits. Snips has to dodge one of the players coming down from FURIA. Doesn't able to get a decent touch, but with 14, he'll start to rotate out. Great pass central, not a convincing shot to end it.
I'm just, sorry, a little bit distracted because 2 of these players are using the slime boost, and I feel like nobody's mentioned that all weekend. Can we draw attention to that?
I think we can, because in Europe, North America, it's alpha boost for days, right? Everyone's using the same boost. It goes... That's it. That's all you hear. Everybody uses the same boost. Everyone's got those golden flames coming out the back of their car. South America's rocking the slime, and I appreciate that immensely.
Yeah, bring back the slime, that's what I say. Let's normalize it, make it the meta. Card's trying to do that with his skills on the ball. Snips from the side towards Astromic. His slime-using teammate right behind him, and here he comes. Here is Yanks in that corner. To the backboard he goes. Kaio needs to win this race against Snips. He doesn't quite. Snips actually gets a really good double tap, but it's worked away by FURIA in the end. So both teams just a couple of feeling jabs right at this point. Snips used to get this read to avoid a knockout blow, and he does it well.
It's well defended again in the corner where Yanks does end up taking control of that ball, and Tanda with 0 boost. Just look at how aggressive he's continuing into that play. He managed to go for a bump in the end and secures that back 100. And so the ball stays in the final third of the orange side. That was all from Tanda being aggressive with nothing.
Here comes Card, up for the 50-50, but Yanks to the side he goes. Stromic is there, and then Snips has got Yanks to his side still. I thought he could have put a pass out wide. Instead, he rolled one towards the FURIA goal, which is exactly what Kaio wanted. He leaves this one to Tanda, and he has 50 boost still in the tank, so he'll be able to attack this one well. Card is going to be next on the ball. Good rotation right now from FURIA. They're keeping a lot of pressure on. Snips needs a save, and Snips gets it.
Chance to slow it down. Astromic will take his time with it, but a little bit too much. Completely open at the back. Now it's a 2v1. Card taking control. Sinks it top corner, but that all came from Astromic getting that really quite awful touch on the counter-attack.
Yeah, but then good speed there from Card for his 3rd goal in the series. Just wibbling it past his opponent. Was so close to losing that race, but got there first. And FURIA do have their lead for, I believe, the first time in the series. So let's see how they can play when they're 1 goal up. They might be able to double it here. Snips' read is good off the backboard. Tanda wants one more touch. Oh, you can see what he was trying there. He was just trying to knock it down towards Card, but the Rebel defense was too good on that occasion.
Oh, it's a great pass central from Card again, but doesn't have a teammate there to connect on the play. Tanda falls wistfully from the ceiling. Snips with 100 boost. Can he make something special happen in the midfield? With 50, he tries to loft it over Card. Isn't able to, and so Yanks has to pick it up. And there's all these small little awkward touches that ask questions of the defense, and finally Rebel get their answer.
They do, and I was just thinking they'd slowed down a little bit, Rebel. They weren't quite as chasey. FURIA were getting more uncontested touches, and I was about to critique that actually, but to be fair to them, their patience worked out. They believed that they'd get a free chance at some point in the future with FURIA pushing that 3rd man further and further forward, and so it came to be, and there is the equaliser.
It's good play again. It was just taking those small touches, making sure that it's awkward for the defense. This one will be awkward for the Rebel defense, but Astromik up so early. Has to fall and then save it again, but the touch out wide falls to Astromik again. So many chances for Furia to score here, but with Astromik in there, it's just near impossible.
Brave defending, but he's going to want to save here, and he's done it again. Tanda had all the time in the world. Nobody was closing him down. Furia sense that this next goal is coming. That could be the winning one in game 2. This one's going to hit the ceiling, though, and Yanks knocks it downwards. There's a 4-player race here, and Kaio greedily accepts the ball and takes it to the side. But Rebel are going to keep coming. Snips wanted the flip reset, but couldn't quite get it. Sets up Astromik to the ceiling. He goes. He gets a self-assist from the ceiling, and Kaio saves it. Great play from all players, but still 1-1.
That's such an aggressive fake challenge, too. Can Snips get the save? He does after falling back off it as well, yeah, with the pre-jump. And now Yanks in the corner takes the ball control away from his teammate, Astromik Central. Ball falls to Snips. He goes for the fake challenge again, forces Card's hand. That's fantastic play. Make sure that the answer comes out early. Yanks up on the left-hand wing. Can he get it Central? Has a teammate there. Will this be falling to overtime?
Ooh, what a touch that is, using the ramp for your own advantage. Just making it really tough for Card, who for some reason wants this one to keep going. I've got no idea why he decided that. Isn't going to backfire, though. My goodness, an odd touch there from Card at the end, but it's overtime in game 2.
He tried it again as well. As the ball ended up landing, he really wanted to get his nose to it. Yeah, he fancied it. Astromik from the backboard sends it long, but with nobody there apart from Tanda, the ball falls back into that orange half. And for me, right now, it's looking like a wonder play has to come out for either of these defenses to break.
A wonder play, but we've seen a few bump attempts from Kaio. I want to see more of those because Rebel just seem a little bit organized. There's another one coming in, flying in onto the man on the goal line. Maybe that could be the key for Furia, but they've got some defending of their own to do right now with Card around the backboard. Great play from him, and getting it past Astromik as well is going to buy his team so much time. If he has anything from this solo play, it could really be dangerous for Rebel. Kaio's up against Yanks, but Yanks gets in again. He's done that so many times in defense. Getting the all-important touch, he snips, and it's saved. What
a save from Card to keep this overtime going. As we approach 1 minute, though, the attack continues for Rebel. Now it's Snips versus Kaio. Astromik comes in for the 2v1. And sees his teammate Central, takes it low, but with Snips first to that ball, removes Astromik from the play, and his counter-attack after counter-attack. What a fake out, what a pass, and not a final shot. The save from Tanda keeps us even.
I feel like Rebel are just getting a wee bit twitchy right now. A few double commits coming in, which is okay if one of you gets a decent challenge, but it's been one little touch from a Furia player that's just knocked it past 2 of them. That's almost the case again, past 1 from Card. He wants to set up for a shot, but Snips has beaten his opponent now for Rebel, and Yanks completes the mission. This one high and looping. There's a pass attempt there for Yanks. He's going to shoot into the top corner, and Rebel take game 2.
Oh my word. That was just slotted so neatly from Snips to Yanks, and the top corner went begging. 2 goals ends up sealing it for Rebel. They go 2-0 in this series as well. And Cole, you said at the start, don't count Rebel out, and they are showing why.
Yeah, they're so fast in attack. 0 goals from Astromik and 600 points. Obviously, score isn't the best indicator in the world, but I think that justifies what we've been seeing of him on the pitch, that he is just floating about. He's getting in the way of everything that Furia are chucking at him. And Furia, for all their shots, for all their chances, aren't scoring too many goals. They've got 3 overall across 2 games, and the Rebel defense is dealing with them.
I mean, bear in mind there, they had 13 shots on target, where Rebel, they managed to get themselves 11 saves. They were saving almost every single one away. And one of them, of course, ended up going in. So only 1 unaccounted for. That is amazing defense from Rebel. And Furia are an amazing offensive force. In South America, they are so aggressive. Everybody is. And to maintain that defense in this firepower-heavy region is shocking.
I just want more bumps from Furia. Where Rebel seem the most vulnerable is where one of these Furia players is playing in front of the ball and just hunting them down, searching for them, playing that PJ role that we've seen elsewhere. I think that can be really effective, and they're focusing just a little bit too much on solo plays and team plays. I think that's the only thing they're missing right now.
There's a chance to go for a team play for Rebel. Not able to get the pass off though, but Yanks, that is so fast. The speed on his recovery to get round for the second touch on that caught everybody on Furia off guard, as did that pinch over the final defender. Furia with the lead.
Card just can't stop scoring. There he goes again, over the top. It's the simplest lead in the world there for Furia. It's just such an easy goal. Will that slow down Rebel at all? Let's find out.
No, absolutely not. No. Yeah, zero question, mate.
Oh, really?
Go next. Yeah.
I thought it might be at least a question, but all right, fair enough then. So Rebel, to continue their speed, undeterred by that card freebie, but here's Kai to the backboard. He wants to follow this one along. Tander's waiting back. So Rebel has survived the next attack at the very least. Surely not another dunk. No way. That would really start to break their hearts, but it's gone wide.
It's a chance for the backboard play to come in. Good clear. And Tander can't quite get onto the end of it. A long shot. Didn't quite have the power on it to be offensively threatening. And so now the counter-attack once again can come out from Furia. Working their way strongly into that back third. Shot on target from Tander, saved by Snips. Can they get the double? No, but Astromic does follow up for it. Up for the double tap. Gets the touch, but not on target.
Yeah, the first touch was so effective because his teammate actually missed it, the Rebel player, which pulled Furia out of position, but he didn't quite have the read on the double tap, unfortunately, on this occasion. So Furia are going to keep coming forward until that touch intercepts things from Snips. There's going to have to be a race. Oh, no, there's a fake from a teammate, then an own goal, and it's 1-1.
I'm questioning whether the positioning on this shot was actually good, because it went high and above card. But one of them should have got a touch. That's a freebie in return for Rebel. Yeah,
a couple of weird goals. Oops, I just hit my notes. A couple of weird goals in this game so far in Game 3. I think both teams are going to be able to just say, okay, deep breath. That one went absolutely nothing because it wasn't a case of consistent pressure. This could be a little bit better. Kaio's got an impossible task to save this one, and Rebel have the lead again.
It was just Card getting that very late touch to it, and Astromic continuing to be aggressive, where a lot of players may end up rotating back. We see it in other regions. A player there might end up leaving, trying to get that corner boost so then they can continue for a long play and not just try to get that short snapshot off. And that's what South America do so incredibly well as a region. It's that aggression in unlikely scenarios.
Oh, here we go. Here's another example.
And again!
Here. It was Snips of the attempted flip reset. It didn't come to too much, but it did put pressure on Furia. Then there's Astromic keeping it going. Just they never give up on the play. There's always at least two of them in there, just nibbling at everything until their opponents make a mistake. And that's what Furia right now are being forced to do.
This is an incredible claim from Rebel, going 3-1 up with still 3 minutes left in the game as well. Furia were near locked on to win this from what the desk were predicting, and there are some clever clogs over on the desk. I don't want to disagree with them about South America very often and whatsoever, but Rebel, they have been slept on and they are waking everybody up.
Rebel, of course, who haven't conceded a game 6.5 games into this final day. They 4-0'd out of skill, a team that really impressed me yesterday, and now they're looking to at least give themselves a chance to do the same thing against Furia, but surely not. Surely they're not going to see this game away and then have a chance for a 4-0. They're doing their best, though. Snips goes high again. This could be a fourth goal. Look at them attacking in numbers. Yance gets the flip reset. Tander read it. Astromic comes in. He puts it on target, but Card saves, and Furia are desperate.
It's just these touches from Furia are not good enough to clear it away. Look at Yanks going high and gets the touchdown. Astromic just continuing that pressure. And you see how close Snips is to that play? That almost led to a goal the other side, but that defense from Rebel staying strong and staying utterly world-class.
Oh, what a save again from Yanks. Tander's going to try and keep the attack going, but Yanks just fakes him out and then does the same thing to Tander, and Snips can see it away. It's controlled aggression, though, from Rebel because they knew that Furia had absolutely no boost earlier. So even though they were coming with all three men, when Furia did get what would have been the counter-attack, they couldn't do anything with it because Rebel are just squeezing them out of this game.
90 seconds remaining. Astromic is just using this as free play. Going to the ceiling, trying to waste a little bit of time. If you waste just 1 or 2 seconds multiple times, you're taking it down to 20 seconds off the clock, and they are so vital eventually. Good fake challenge there from Yanks. Does then lead the ball over towards Kaio again. A block from Snips leads it for Yanks once again to challenge. Snips over the top. No single touch from FURIA is going uncontested right now.
Yeah, Rebel are just playing themselves out of trouble so well right now. They're backing each other up. They're close enough, cheating up towards their teammates when they have these awkward 50-50s that what should be dangerous isn't dangerous. Look how close they all are to the ball. That's a scary thing, but they're doing it with such control that it's working out. All right. We normally do the fake or miss game, backflip or intentional backflip.
That was intentional. 100% that one wasn't. But the first one was definitely intentional because he knew that then the 50 might have come in and it might have led to a weird pinchy counter goal. If he just backflips there, his teammate can get a much nicer touch. And look at the time that they've not conceded in. That was genius. They are so intelligent. Rebel, I love this play.
Oh, yeah, they might get a fourth as well. This game seems like it's just appearing to be over, so I'm going to chuck it out there. What do people think? Purposeful or non-purposeful backflip? Could do with a better name, but I can't think of one on the spot. And it's just seeming like Rebel completely and utterly know exactly what FURIA are trying to do. When FURIA are coming forward for all of their firepower, all of their brilliance in attack, it's Rebel that look dangerous.
I am absolutely shook. Rebel look phenomenal. On defense, they once again just knew exactly what FURIA were putting on their net. And even when they didn't, they almost dictated the play. They had a player come in to just understand what, okay, the shot's coming on the left-hand side of the net. We should therefore send one man in, then cover the right, and then we can make sure that it's definitely funneled towards one side. And then the breaks are so much more controlled in that way. And FURIA have chosen to use their tactical time out.
This is such an important team talk from their coach. This is precisely what they need right now to get them back into this series. It's just not working for them. For any single one of these players, none of them look particularly likely to step up, barring maybe Card, who, credit to him, has scored 4 goals in this series. FURIA's only 4 goals. But even one of those was a dunk that just trickled into the net, which is unfortunate, right? So what do you think they're saying? What a FURIA change?
I don't even know, because this is just Rebel performing so incredibly well. And FURIA, I think, just need to get into the mindset of, look, we are second, like, in the region, in a very strong region. We shouldn't be 3-0 down right now to Rebel. The only issue is, this is now starting to be a little bit of a trend between these two teams. I said at the top of the series that they were very, very even. In the last 9 series they've played, Rebel have won 5 and FURIA have won 4. But their game record is 26 to Rebel and 25 to FURIA. That is so shockingly close that I can't imagine that's happened in many other head-to-heads that we will see in any of these high-level series. But they've just been trading back and forth. And look at what it's come down to. Recently, back in the Spring Prime Series 1 regional playoffs, Rebel did 4-0 FURIA. So it's not unheard of by any means. It's just another statement.
I guess then, statistically, FURIA are due a few games. If they are 25 and 24 against each other over the course of so many series, it's an anomaly that Rebel are 3 goals up right now. And that's what FURIA have to keep reminding themselves, that they are more than capable of just getting themselves a foothold in this series. If they get one, suddenly maybe Rebel start to question themselves, even if it's just 3%. That might make them question one play. It might make them not be quite forward quite as much as they would have been before. As soon as that happens, FURIA can take up more space on the pitch, because right now, I guess they're getting pressure, they're getting territory, but they're just not looking like they're doing anything with it, and that has to change right now.
A big problem they have seen though is in game number 2, the shots for FURIA, there were so many. They were just holding on in every single situation on the side of Rebel, despite being absolutely battered. In game number 3, though, there were only about 5 shots in total. And look at the defense, it's so reactive and it controls the offensive play of FURIA so well. Yangtze has a chance to go central, cleverly goes at the wall. The ceiling path has to get out of the way and does so. Just gliding around the ball are all of Rebel, and we need to see FURIA step up and have their claim on South America again.
So far, though, so good for FURIA in this game. They are just getting a few more clean touches on the ball for themselves. Here's another one for Kaio. They've squeezed a little bit of life out of Rebel. Not too difficult for Rebel to deal with in defense, but They're looking good. Hang about, that can change everything. That touch there from Yanks. It's saved. Card was aware. And Kyo can come forward. Tanner gets a demo as well. That's what I've been asking for about 2 games now. And it's just opened things up. Card might give him the lead. He has, and it is all from that demo.
I remember asking earlier in the green room, does Card ever like just go for a shot, or does he always double tap? And I was met with a chorus of, he double taps. He just does. That's just what he does. He'd rather do that than just go for the open shot. And that is exactly why Card with a phenomenal first goal in this game. However, the trend has been Fury get 1, Rebel get 3 or 4.
You have to respect Card though. He'd rather miss. He'd rather double tap and miss than just shoot and score. That is what we love about the man. He's got principles. Exactly. He's currently behind Kyo. He's been demoed. There's a touch there from Tanner onto the backboard. It just didn't quite fall. Card was sniffing around thinking, if this bounces out even at 1 degree, I've got this read.
It's now time for the counter-attack to emerge for Rebel. Tanda tries to find Car, but Snips comes in for another demo. Good positioning from Tanda. Low on boost, however. Sees Kyo central. As Yanks gets control of the board, he's got 40 boost and a man central. Goes up for 1, gets the air dribble. His teammate comes in to remove the other defender, and Rebel draw themselves even.
How do you defend against this? You've had so much pressure, and then as soon as Yanks comes forward, he takes out one, as Stromic takes out the other. It is impossible to defend against, and that's the equalizer. FURIA have had so many leads in this series, but Rebel are not letting them keep them.
Stromic has a chance here to get the ball central. Snips has it quickly taken away from him by Kyo. Off that left ball, Yanks tries to read it, but Card is there first. And that is such a confident play from Rebel, but if they continue on that line, it's going to be really tough for FURIA, holding it even for now, though.
I'm still seeing a little bit more from FURIA than we have in the last couple of games, at least. They just look more likely to carve something out when they do come forward, and that miss from Snips will certainly help FURIA out. Kyo's moving with it. He's got no boost, but he does have a dream, and more importantly, a flip reset. Just get something over there. Launch a missile somewhere approaching the Rebel defense. Card's trying to keep it going with a slightly more pinpointed attack. Kyo to the side. Yanks underneath it, Astromic should be able to clear it, and that miss is going to let Rebel in again.
As Kyo has to get a stretched save to the backboard, and Yanks can come up with one and the flip reset. Jumps so cleverly down too. Didn't use it to try and get close to the ball. Used his flip to get closer to the 4. Tanda, can he get a pass central? Card is there, but Yanks is there first. Now Kyo on the retreat has to get it back behind the final line. Everybody just being sent to these balls at every single opportunity. And to the air, Yanks takes it with the flip reset. Nearly with the dunk. And the flip from Astromic gets the lead for Rebel.
What a save that was going forwards, though. It was Yanks of another one of these air dribbles. Got the flip reset, but that save from Kyo, it's unfortunate for him that Astromic was in the perfect place. But you have to say, credit to the finisher for being where his team needed him.
We're going to be going to a very, very quick pause in this game, making sure that everybody is still good. I could use a breather after that goal, quite frankly. I am amazed still by Rebel, despite the fact that they went down in that 1 goal. They've been there before. In this series, they've gone down by 1 goal, and then they come back 2, 3, 4 goals as a retaliation. And Astromic, quite frankly, had no reason of being on the goal line when that came in. Yet he was, yet it worked. And yet again, FURIA do find themselves going behind.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to say credit to Yanks in particular for this game. The air dribbles are something that we haven't seen too much of from him in this series. Rebel haven't relied on that as being the only thing that they've got. And as the series has flowed and developed, Rebel have developed with it. They've evolved. They've changed their style of attack. It was pure pressure. Sorry, it started off as pure speed, then it turned into pressure, and now it's turning into solo plays that FURIA are struggling to deal with. So they have this team talk to FURIA. They slow the game down. They have their timeout. They think they've got the read on what Rebel are trying, and then Rebel say, hey, do you know what? Let's play solo. Let's mix it up. Yeah, we can do that too.
And that's the main thing that I've been seeing is it's Rebel's attacks are being so unbelievably intelligent. We can keep this game back off again. It's from the same kickoff, so that goal, of course, is just going to be staying on the scoreboard with about 1 minute and 54 left from that kickoff. And it does start off with this FURIA attack. They need to bring a goal back, and that is a great dunk from Kyo. Card comes in to keep the pressure going. Can he get the dish? Saved by Astromic.
Yeah, so close. Somewhere, Doomsy's ears perked up when he saw him going for that Doomsy dish. but he couldn't quite get it. But in game one, there was a pause, and FURIA responded to it the better. At least at the beginning, they scored their first goal in this entire series on the kickoff after a break. So they'll be awake and alert and getting themselves back into this one any way they possibly can. But what a save that is from Yanks, and he's got the dribbling chance, and Card had to be so careful there with Yanks on the ball with boost.
It was a great bump to clear that player away too, as now Snips can work his way down the pitch. Astromik sends it high. Card with low boost. Astromik tries to beat out Card to that play. He isn't quite able to. With under a minute remaining, FURIA need a goal, otherwise they are swept.
They are swept. Yeah, it's amazing the way Rebel are performing right here. Not giving an inch to FURIA, one of the future South American championship teams, the top two in the region, but they're not being allowed to look like it. But here comes Tanda, and Kaio must score and equalizes.
That is absolutely vital as well. Tanda goes for one, and then the bump on Astromik very clever. Realizes he can't quite get the ball. And so now, 2-2 once again. It is a better showing in the latter half of the game than we have seen from FURIA so far, and they need that confidence.
It does bring to an end one unlikely stat, though, and that is a best-of-7 reverse sweep with only one scorer from the reverse sweepers. Until that moment, only Card had scored, but sadly that one's now by the wayside.
Final 30 seconds ticking down. Yanks in the corner with Astromik, but Kaio can take full advantage off that double commit. Astromik on the right wing, has to try and get it past Card, isn't able to. So Snips comes in, hits off the back of Astromik. Final 10, we'll see Card, Kaio, and Tanda all come up for something special.
Oh, half a touch there from Kaio into the center. Card is following Tanda's touch. And Yanks was more aware than I was, that's for sure. I didn't read that one. Astromik reads the touch round the corner from Card. Another great save on the goal line from Rebel.
Again, the defense holding strong, and this final overtime could be the decider of the 4-0, or will this be FURIA holding on to their dreams? Great demo from Tanda to remove Yanks from the pitch. This Card gets challenged by Astromik. A player from FURIA has to go, but nobody challenging in from Rebel.
Yeah, it was, oh my god, there's going to be a chance. So Snips keeps it going. Kaio saves. He read where that redirect was off to. Into the corner it now goes from Tanda. Yanks catches it, tries to get blocked by Kaio, and Tanda slows things down, gets that pre-flip, and it's blocked away by Snips. So both teams have early chances in this overtime. There's another one. The redirect's flying in from Rebel, and poor old FURIA on the goal line, just doing their best to block him away.
It's Astromik left at the back, though. He needs to challenge off against Kaio and Card. Tanda with a shot. Tanda with the goal. It will not be a sweep, but it will be a light at the end of the tunnel starting to appear for FURIA.
It took an overtime. It took a few treacherous saves as well. Terrifying ones when you're trying to judge where that ball's going to go from a redirect. But fair play, FURIA. They held so strong in that game when they were so far away from winning this series and just gave themselves that little burst of light that they needed.
Kaio, with over 700 points in that game, was rocketing off the most shots, the most saves, the most assists, and tied on goals, one apiece across FURIA. That is a hell of a performance, and it was needed. FURIA, that just keeps them in contention to get out of this semi-finals.
Yeah, they needed somebody to step up desperately. Card was the one scoring goals, but I wouldn't say he was anywhere near his brilliant best before this game. Or we did get that double tap, which was a thing of beauty, but I thought Yanks had done enough. I really thought that Yanks had just suppressed the fight of FURIA with these air dribbles. So you have to say it's brilliance from FURIA, to have that much fight, just to really dig deep and get themselves to remain in this series.
And that's exactly what they've done. It's now 3-1 in favor of Rebel. If they can't shut out that sweep, it's not the end of the world. You wouldn't expect them to sweep by any means. But they are wanting to shut this down now before the doubt starts to settle in. Another 5 minutes could see our first grand finalist, and Yanks wants to be the MVP with that fly.
The last series that we saw went to a Game 7. Actually, not the last one we saw. 2 series ago, went to a Game 7 between Erase and Euphoria. And it was absolutely brilliant. Now, FURIA are desperate to see this one go all the way yet again. And that's another good start in this one. 1-0. A return to the usual scorer. 20 seconds gone in this game. They go into the kickoff. It's Snips and Kaio. Up there on the wall is Tanda. He's got a man in the middle. It's Kaio. Kaio, could he shoot here almost from Furia? Yanks is going towards the wall. There's a miss there from Astromic as Card puts it into the center where Snips is waiting. They'll try and build themselves back into this one. Will be a little bit more shaky here. Just a bit scarier for them. 1 game and 1 goal down, but what a start for Furia where they really need it.
Is this attack now starting to fall? What a rocketed shot from Astromic as well, but saved just so quickly off that goal line. And these pre-jump saves from both teams have been vital across the entire series too.
I'll keep on coming though. Depending on this touch, here is Snips. Into the center he can go maybe. Card just boots it long. And I think the Furia, they just need to stay firm just for 15, 20 seconds or so. Make sure they don't throw away this lead because this is really starting to give them some belief now.
I mean, this lead has been thrown away for, what, the last 3 games or so? Well, 2 games. Obviously, ended up winning in overtime before, but they did go behind, and you can't be doing that too often. So Furia, their main intention is, hey, if they can win by a 1-0, I'm sure they'll be very happy winning with a 1-0.
Yes, I don't think I'll complain too much. It could be 2 though right now. This Card squeezes it in. King Card cannot stop scoring.
It was that great touch central from Tanda. The pop high completely removes Snip from the play, and Yanks pinches it in off the crossbar. Was going in regardless, had to do his best to swerve across net to save it, but with these 2 goals, Furia with the biggest lead they've had so far.
You expect them to see this one away, really. The way they've just turned it on, it's going to be tough for Rebel, even at this early stage, to ask too many questions of Furia, I would say. But it only takes a second to completely change that. 1 fortunate goal or 1 brilliant play from Rebel. A 3rd goal against them, though, will make their mission even more difficult. It's great play from Furia. That's all I can really say about this one. It's been tough for them to get a foothold in this series, and they've managed to do it.
That was nearly Yanks just getting a shot on target, securing the flip reset, and then sending the house towards the keeper, just trying to get any touch he could. I would love if that came off, but instead, he has to settle for the backboard read.
I asked for a moment of brilliance for Rebel. It's what they needed, and this touch here from Astromic was exactly that. Look at him floating through the air, just spinning everywhere to make it as difficult as possible to read his next touch. And there was Yanks, who's getting on the scoreboard a lot himself. Rebel back in it. Not even half time yet, and already 3 goals scored.
Here's Kaio trying to get another one. Manages to go wide round the back of the defense. That is so well placed that Tanda had a harder time missing the shot eventually. Look at those, just picking up the pennies, avoiding that bump from Yanks too. And Tanda's quick rotation in meant that Yanks couldn't quite get his nose to the ball. And Tanda securing another 2-goal lead.
This is why they're in the top 2 in the region of Furia. If anybody is tuning into South America for the first time, they may be wondering how a Rebel running riot against a team that everybody has been hyping up. But you can see it here. Once they have that control, they do not relinquish it. They know how to see a game away and how to just stop their opponents. And they're starting to build a little bit of momentum. That stop there again from Kaio was important. Tanner's in the air. We'll get beaten to the ball by Yanks, so this could change things. It snips, and it's a great finish.
It's suddenly Rebel just trying to chase back into the play, but the passing between Snips and Yanks has been so on point throughout this entire series. Again, finding each other in midfield, shifting it from the left to the mid, back to the left, and bottom corner found. Only 1 goal different now.
This is turning into a very good game. I was completely wrong about it being Furias and Furias alone, because Rebel keep it on coming. Furia have to just stay as alert as possible. What are you giggling at, mate?
It's just the movement. I absolutely love just the identity that South American Rocket League has got. Again, the style, the swish plays that every single player can do. Catching it on the left to the ceiling, jumps off and delays it. That must be so close to the edge of where the timer stops.
That is the cleanest ceiling shot you will see for many months, I feel. It was, exactly, yeah. If there was a Rocket League Academy, Sunless Khan's one maybe going on at the moment, then that is your example of a ceiling shot.
Please put our casting in there as well, Sunless Khan. We'd appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Cheers, pal.
His card, into the center he goes. Kaio wants to get round this ball, but Snips says no, and then Tanda, the pass towards him, is a little bit heavy, not quite what he was expecting, but he does do some damage coming out, rotating out, taking out 1 or 2 of them. Are you giggling at air dribbles again or something else?
It's just how smooth every single player is looking right now. It's wonderful. It's so beautiful to watch. The recoveries, the catching a ball in such an awkward position and then continuing to go on with it. It's just something to admire.
Yeah, you're completely right. They've definitely found their flow, all of these players. It's the most stylish looking game so far. You just believe that Snips is going to be able to do something with this ball, and he was. He's able to dunk Tando, get it towards the backboard. Now Stromic from the side. Yang slows it down. We know what his dribbles are like. Oh, he's done so well to set up Snips. It's got to go in, surely it will from Stromic, and Rebel are on the cusp of the upset.
This is beautiful. Yangs takes it out wide, realizes he can't get an extra touch, and so bums the defender out the way. Kaio has to do his best defensive job he can possibly do, and Stromic is there again, poaching shots, poaching goals, and potentially poaching the series.
I underestimated Rebel when they went a couple of goals down because they've proven to me that they can come back, but so too can Furia. What a pass, what a finish, what a game.
Mate, his team plays over and over again. Tanda this time finding Card with an open net to shoot on. He just rockets it as central as I think I've ever seen a shot go in this game.
That was an absolute boomer right there from Furia. 8 goals in this one. This is why we love this region. This is why we love this game. Who's going to be the one to score that killing blow? Furia could do it right now with a decent clearance here, but actually it's Rebel down the other end. Kaio to the side. Card's going to try and interlink the play. Yanks over the top of it. He does get a save. That was such a tough read for him there.
It was Tanda trying to find Card again. Now Stromic to that left wall. Yanks a lot of boost, and so will slow it down with his wheels. Takes a gentle touch and bumps one defender out of the way. Snips another touch himself off the ceiling, but nobody there to receive it this time. The final 10 seconds. Another overtime potentially.
Maybe, we'll see. Here comes Tanda to try and change that. He wants to get this finish. Snips knew exactly what Tanda was trying. Kept it going again. I love that. Nobody wants the game to end at 0 seconds. Everybody fancies being the hero. Getting that This Is Rocket League goal. Yeah, I'll say it. I'm not afraid to.
You should be.
I should be because it's overtime.
I mean, last time we saw these guys in overtime, it did end up being that Furia win. It took a lot out of them, but they managed to secure it, and now Snips wants to try and change history. If he can get the goal here, if any of the guys in Rebel can, they go through with the 4-1, they will be your first grand finalist. This is just Furia trying to survive.
Yeah, Yanks, needs to intercept that ball, though, because 2 of his teammates were trying to take a risky pass. He's done incredibly well to do it, and now Card and Tan do the same thing for Furia. A little bit chasey, a little bit rushed in overtime here. You can see the panic starting to set in. The pressure is mounting, but that touch is going to alleviate the pressure for Rebel. And Card will do the same for Tanda, who's going to be the first to just get that killing pass, the slightly more considered touch into the center for a teammate.
It's Tanda to Kaio, hoping that they will be the duo to do so. And with Yanks, though, challenging on the backboard, it falls out nicely towards the defenders. Stromic can get it central. Yanks takes it away from Snip. That is a rush touch. That is not what you need right now, Rebel.
I don't know. It was a really risky play.
Not what you need right now at all.
But the way Furia punish it, look at that recovery from Card, and then the dunk. That's genius.
It's Furia. Again, they're finally switched on. They take another overtime, and they are going to be going through into game number 6, Cole. It's so close. These guys are just... I feel like whenever either of them goes down, they're not even looking at the scoreline. They're not then thinking, okay, we'll play a little more defensively. We'll play a little more offensively. They just play their own game. And if they're the better team, they're the better team, so be it.
I'm just in love with the way that Card is playing. Right when the game was starting to get a little bit scrappy in that overtime, he was the one who saw that his opponents had made one mistake too many. And the speed of his play to get that assist when you're a few minutes into overtime is just astounding to me. He did brilliantly to force that chance. And well done, Kaio, as well, for being there for the finish. But that was a game that had absolutely everything. Each team had daylight ahead of the other one. Both teams took the lead. Both teams lost it. We go to a long overtime, and Furia, to keep the series alive, they get the win to force Neo Tokyo. And right now, this one could absolutely go either way.
I mean, they've been on the edge so far of falling out of our semi-finals twice in a row. It came down to those overtimes, and it's just so much one, and it's so much respect for each respective team that neither of them are thinking that, okay, this play's a little bit too far-fetched. They won't possibly be able to not score that. Everybody thinks that each other is a goal, and it makes the plays that they're going for even more impressive. The first goal from Astromic is exactly that.
Again, the speed doing FURIA for pace right now. Yanks first beating Kaio. Then Astromic Card is desperately jumping, probably boost-starved as well. And so is Tanda. Rebel take first blood, but based on the last game, Stumpy, I don't think it will last for too long.
Is this the first lead it's the first time the Rebel have scored the first goal since game 1?
Oh my goodness, mate.
I know you take notes of goals and stuff.
I do take notes of goals and stuff, but when they're about 400 in a series, it gets a little bit tricky to keep up to date with who's scored what. I can't do it. We need a Stacks here or a Gibbs here or something. Do you know what? Yes, why not? Yes, it is the first time.
I love that confidence because you're wrong. I have no idea. I just wish that I knew.
Nobody knows, mate. Nobody knows at all, but Rebel won't care too much what happened in the past. All they'll care about is this next 4 minutes and 5 seconds, trying to see this series away. FURIA looked down and out at one point, and Rebel were 2 goals up in the last game, weren't they? Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, why not? Exactly. There's lots of goals.
Yes. Maybe why not is how we're going to end that one, I reckon.
Tanda into the corner. Strongman takes a touch. Maybe why not? But Tanda closes them down again. Kaio almost won that one. Yanks is coming forward. Battles in the midfield, but it's not 50-50s. It's both teams doing their best to push the ball into the difficult area to save. Yanks on the score sheet, though, again in the end of it.
It was such a close rotation in from Snips. Look at how close he is in on that play. And Yanks, even though he got bumped, was able to get there so quickly that his positioning was near perfect. That even if there was a little bit of leeway, 20% either side, that ball is going to be going in. That was just such good team play once again. And the 2-goal lead emerges for Rebel. FURIA, they're not going to be having that. Expect to see so much pressure start to form in that orange half.
Here's Card. One touch following it up. Wants to get another dunk. He does do it. But it only falls downwards as far as Kaio. He slows the ball down. I thought he'd go for the backboard there. He had 2 players on the ground and nobody covering above the goal, but opted to ignore it for reasons unbeknownst to myself. I guess credit to him, it has kept the attack going. Card now in the 50-50 with Yanks. Tanda's flying in. It's risky from FURIA. There's a very high line. The Rebel can't quite get that touch away that they need until now.
Astromic had 0 boost, but faked it long enough so that Tanda had to just slowly go up, and the ball lingers in that back third. A pinch sends it towards Card. You can get a touch onto the wall. Not great, though, as Astromic's positioning is so aggressive that he can just get the touch to the backboard immediately. Snips to, oh my God, to Yanks, then back to Snips. Nearly saw an amazing team play.
This is the key point in this game, though. I feel like a goal is coming soon for either team. This FURIA that are trying more desperately to score it, of course it is, but that can backfire if they're not careful. We know that Rebel can counter-attack. This could be the start of one. Snips touches it towards Kaio, but Tanda's coming in. He's got Card underneath him with 100 boost. Card can do so much damage here, but Kaio, intelligently perhaps, turns the attack away and decides to build again.
Incredibly intelligently, because now look, it's straight back in that back third. Astromic to the ceiling. Yanks will actually fake to go for that, giving Astromic a little bit more room, which I love. Final 2 minutes now entered. Yanks to the ceiling. Can he get another touch here just to get in the way? Enter trying to go for Card, but then Card finds Tanda, finds Kaio, finds the post, and then Snips is demoed for his save.
What a read that was. There are 2 amazing plays there for Rebel, even though it was FURIA attacking, but they have another one here. Kaio over the top. It's saved by Yanks. But the first touch earlier, when one of the Rebel players was right at the top of his trajectory with no boost left, and then the save off the back wall, had to read it perfectly from an awkward angle. Rebel do so well. Can they do even better down the other end? There's a shot here from Yanks. It's into the top corner, and that could well be the series.
That was just a tease across the net. That shot just so gently scraping the front of it, as well with Card going for that in and out save. It was almost the best chance that Card had to save it, and yet Yanks put enough precision, enough power on it, and that's Rebel with the 3-0 lead, potentially 4. And it is just so much dominance in this final game.
I admire so much how calm Rebel look. 3 goals up. They must be starting to feel like this is theirs. A 4th could do it, but Astromic's speed had the ball stolen away from him, and it's going to lead to a counter-attack goal. They have been silly.
Oh, don't be silly, lads. You didn't need to do that. That touch from Snip, I think, was fine if Astromic was further back, but it doesn't matter because that rotation from Furia led to the counter instantly. This is now a time where Rebel need to get back in their heads, not overthink, play the game they've been playing so far. The worst thing they can do is get cocky and change their game style or get complacent in any way because Furia will snap back.
The comms have to be absolutely perfect over the course of this next 45 seconds. And they've already stolen a few of them, but now they're getting in each other's way. Yanks and Astromic were in a Rule 2 over there, just dancing around the pitch together and holding hands. Got away with that one, but it wasn't great. And now Card can really put the squeeze on them. Tanda's demo up against Snips makes this even more difficult. Then a great flick. Kaio's coming in. Kaio's got the double. Oh, what a save! It was a double commit, but it was fantastic.
It was Astromic getting that save in the end, however, and that keeps a 2-goal lead. An amazing shot came in so quickly afterwards, too, as Astromic continues the attack with Yanks. Can't quite touch it down. The final 10 seconds. This is looking like Rebel close it out, and that will be Furia knocked out of the semi-finals. Our first team advancing into the grand finals, but this South American Spring Major will be Rebel.
Time and time again, it seemed that Rebel had just got in their own heads and messed things up, but they just had that composure when it was needed to take a deep breath, to slow things down. Look how calm they look in their comms. They know they've still got a job to do. Against Erased or True Neutral, this is their tournament to take. They've already beaten one of the championship teams in South America. There's no reason that playing like that, they can't do it again. What an upset and what a performance that was from Rebel.
That was just such amazing play throughout, and we can look at Rebel as much as we want for how well they ended up playing that series, taking down the number 2 team in the region by a long shot as well. Like you said, Cole, one of the teams battling it out for the championships a little bit later on next month. But that was Furia who managed to battle back a touch. They were given a bit of room, they completely pounced, and they played their game. When they got down to games 4 and 5, they took them in overtime. They were stretched the distance, and they managed to do pretty well out of it. But Rebel, I am utterly impressed by them. That is going to be a team that will not be giving up this title easily whatsoever.
And if their man Yanks can play as well as that in the final, there is no reason that they cannot take down either Erased or True Neutral. And speaking of which, that second semi-finals is with you in a few minutes. Do not go anywhere.